Welcome to Insights into Insurance with Tom Sorensen of Americana Insurance Group. All information provided is educational in nature and not intended to be acted upon without first consulting the appropriately licensed professional.
Saturday morning here on KATE, time for another episode of Insights into Insurance with Americana Insurance and Tom Sorensen. Tom, before we get into the listener email, I think last week's show talking about hail damage opened some people's eyes, especially when we had those storms about a month or two ago.
Oh, yeah, and actually I probably had more people talk to me about that than anything since we've done this show. And then also, too, over the years, that has probably been one of the biggest topics that I have had to deal with is hail damage on roofs. But today's topic is really good.
It is, and we'll get right to the listener email. It's from Shirley. Hi, Tom. I enjoy listening to the show. I recently got a new quote for homeowners insurance from my current insurance agent. When I looked at the estimate, it included something entitled Underground Service Line Coverage. I question this, Tom, because it's something I've never had before, and I'm just worried that my insurance agent is trying to get an extra X amount of dollars out of me a month. What is it, and what should I do? From Shirley.
Shirley, great question. My first question back to you is why aren't you getting a quote from our agency? No. No, Shirley, I'm just having fun with you. Just one way of putting in a plug, I guess. Shirley, I will tell you right now, I don't believe your agent is trying to do anything that is improper.
Or unscrupulous.
Unscrupulous. Okay, what he is trying to do is give you a coverage that you could end up in the future having a fairly sizable, large bill to deal with that you can get and cover very inexpensively. And what does it include with service line coverage, and what is it? Underground service line coverage, okay? Basically, it's underground service line coverage is an insurance. It's designed to cover the cost to repair or replace damaged underground piping or wiring on your property for which you are responsible.
Okay?
Which can be defined by lots of times you'll have to check, and I'm not going to say how many feet or anything like that from the street or the boulevard.
Because it changes everywhere.
Well, yeah, and each city could be different. Each county could be different, and so I'm not going to talk for them. I will just say this coverage is available, okay? About, I want to say, 5-6 years ago, all of a sudden one day I was going to head to work, and I look out my front yard. It's a beautiful sunny day. It was a beautiful night, and my whole front yard is full of water, okay? Well, I had a break in my water pipes way underground, and all I got to say is I was like, oh, no. Okay, because I know that I could be responsible for that.
Depending where it is.
Depending on where it was. Okay, the city came, did an investigation, and they found that it was their responsibility because of it was in so many feet to the actual main or whatever you want to call it. So I lucked out. But you should have seen what they had to do. I mean, they had a huge hole, huge equipment that was there. So it would have been very expensive to cover if it would have been my responsibility. Now, obviously, I was really close to not having that as a city responsibility. It was close to my responsibility, but it wasn't. So I got lucky. So how is coverage triggered through this?
I guess that's a good way to kind of segment in there is like, how do you know if you're going to be covered on this portion?
Right. And again, it's when you're responsible and it's your service lines or fixtures that connect your house with public utilities or private systems that are critical to the function of your property. They can include, but are not limited to main water or sewer piping, geothermal piping, valves, underground power lines, communication lines, fiber optic wiring or cables, or drain pipes, which a lot of people just think, oh, it's just the water thing. Well, no, there's a lot of things here. I mean, all the way from fiber optics to communication lines.
No gas.
Gas could be possibly. It's just one of those things where right now that would be a question mark. Again, we could check on that, and again, it might depend on what the whole situation is.
Sure.
Okay? So how is it triggered in coverage triggered from? It's when a service line fails as a result of physical damage caused by deterioration, environmental conditions, or other external forces. Sounds like quite a complex deal, but it's not. Coverage includes the cost to repair or replace service lines, as well as excavation costs, resulting damage to outdoor property, and there's additional living expense. So if there's a situation where you can't live at your house because of this, it will also cover additional living expense to go somewhere like rent a hotel room or something like that.
Okay, that's good to know. Now, we've got probably about a minute and a half here or so. I'll tell you what, why don't we break early so we can get into more of this conversation in just a second, okay?
Absolutely. Sounds good.
All right, you're listening to Insights into Insurance here on Kate Radio, brought to you by Americana Insurance. We'll be back in 30 seconds.
You know that saying, don't put all your eggs in one basket? It doesn't make any sense. Try juggling 5 baskets full of eggs. You'll see what we mean. It's the same with insurance. At Americana Insurance, we say, go ahead, put all your eggs in one basket. Just make sure it's a darn good basket. You already trust us for farm and business insurance, so get the same great service for home, life, and auto. And if the eggs ever hit the fan, wouldn't you rather deal with one basket of insurance than 5? Americana. Give us a call at 377-2000 or just drop by.
Back here on Insights into Insurance here on KATE, brought to you by Americana Insurance. Tom Sorensen back with us. And Tom, we're talking about underground service line coverage because Shirley was worried she was more or less being taken to the cleaners by her insurance agent. And we're finding out that this is some insurance coverage that most homeowners might want to think about picking up.
Actually, I commend her agent. Okay. I know I was kidding her before why she didn't come to us for a quote first, but I commend her agent for doing this because I feel that this is a very good coverage. Also, this is a fairly new coverage that companies are offering. Matter of fact, not all of my insurance companies offer it. So I guess it comes with a disclosure check with your insurance agent, your professional, to see is this some type of coverage that we can get, okay? Because I don't know exactly. I don't know this coverage for every company. I can tell you what we have for companies that do offer it and don't, okay? So I think we should probably look at some sample losses here.
Be a good idea.
Okay. Here's an example. A frost heave caused a sewer pipe located on your property to rupture. The 100-foot sewer line requires replacement through excavation done with heavy equipment. The cost to replace the sewer line was $1,500. You know, not too bad, but still a lot of money. I mean, that's a lot of money to a lot of people. And excavation totaled $3,950. That's a total loss of $5,450. Okay, that would be something that would be covered.
The whole thing.
The whole thing. Yep. Except for a $500 deductible.
Sure.
With the company that I'm talking about right now, or the companies, okay. Some have automatic deductibles. Some have deductibles that operate off their actual homeowner's deductible, and then some have limits per occurrence. Like a lot of them are like $10,000 minimum cover or maximum coverage, I should say.
Yeah, makes sense.
Okay. Here's another one. An underground fiber optic cable on your property significantly deteriorated over time and began to disrupt internet service. The internet cable needed to be dug up and replaced. Replacing the cable cost of $1,375 and excavation cost of $4,800. That total loss was $6,175. These are actually losses that have been paid out on these items, on this coverage, okay? The next one I'm going to talk about one with a tree that's not covered and one with a tree that is covered, okay?
Okay, let's start with the one not covered.
Okay, the one not covered. Tree roots start growing and going into, let's say, a water line or a sewer line, okay, which can happen. Some of those old sewer lines are those clay lines.
Yeah, terracotta, wherever they are.
Yep, and that goes in and causes a backup or whatever, okay. That is not considered a covered situation. Now, let's say that tree is there and all of a sudden a big tornado or wind comes and uproots the tree and brings, as you know, that can bring up and unearth a lot of things underneath it, and the pipe, let's say it's a sewer pipe, gets busted. That would be a covered situation.
All right, makes sense.
Yeah. Now, some exclusions. Okay, let's talk exclusions here, because a lot of times I like talking exclusions so there's no misunderstanding.
Sure.
Damage as a result of installation or repair. So if somebody's out there repairing or installation and they do damage, that would not be a covered, depending on who it is. It might be them covering it, okay? Mm-hmm. Relocation of lines, obstruction of lines, that, again, goes with the tree root thing, okay? Septic systems, okay? Drain leach fields, wells, pumps, or motors, okay? So if a pump or a motor or something like that is damaged, that's not covered. But heating, cooling systems, okay, not covered. Irrigation and sprinklers, okay, that's not covered also. So lines in or under a building, pool, hot tub, or body of water.
Makes sense.
Right. So your typical, let's say that water line that's going to the street, or the gas line, or the sewer line, things like that would be something that this is what it's really serves its purpose. Okay.
Now, Tom, you mentioned a little bit ago deductibles and limits with this. Is there anything that people, when people hear the word deductible, like, okay, here I am, I'm going to be on the line for, 50% because this is insurance that maybe only costs me $12 a month.
And you know what? It's better than $12 a month. It's like $12 a year. I got a company that will write this coverage for that $10,000 coverage, $500 deductible for $12 a year.
So $1 a month.
$1 a month, okay. Again, I don't want to sound like $12 is nothing, but to me, that's pretty cheap insurance, okay. On the farm, the same company that I represent that offers this. I got more than one company that offers it, but this is just kind of a generalization.
Sure.
Farm would cost you $15 a year.
And is it the same limit?
Same limit, yes.
Okay.
Yes, okay. I would have to check there, and each company could be different. The limits could be higher, or that you could add some additional coverage to that too. So I'm just giving a general statement, okay?
Of course, always check with your insurance agent too.
Absolutely, absolutely, because some of them might not be able to give this coverage. Okay, I just want to let you know that we're able to do that.
Okay, we talked so anything else when it comes to deductible or limits, Tom?
I believe we've covered it pretty good.
And like you said, the costs are relatively cheap, not to, thumb your nose at $12 a year, but when you look at homeowners insurance, something that the brains of the operation and myself have to go through and pay, that extra $12 than what we're paying right now is more resting peace assurance for us because of everything that goes on. You have no idea what's going on under the ground.
You're right. That is a very unknown situation. You do not know what's going on under there and the condition of those items. I have a saying in the insurance world is before you buy the coverage, it always seems expensive. After a loss happens, that insurance always is pretty cheap.
Yeah, I believe that.
Yeah.
Now, Tom, if people want to get a quote from you or find out more about this insurance company that does offer underground service line coverage, what's the phone number?
Our phone number at our agency at Americana Insurance Group is 507-377-2000.
And your email?
Yeah, email is insights@americanainsurance.com, and then they also can send any listener questions to that email also.
And we appreciate your listener questions, Tom. We'll be back with them next week.
All right. See you then, Paul.
See you then.
Great show.
As always, this has been Insights into Insurance with Americana Insurance's Tom Sorensen.
You've been listening to Insights into Insurance from Americana Insurance Group. All information provided is intended to be educational in nature. Before acting upon any information obtained during the Insights into Insurance radio show broadcast, consult an appropriately licensed professional.